Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 1 Remastered. This is 115 speaking. First of all, big apologies for taking so long before making this level. I have been putting so many hours into my business and I couldn't afford to do anything else. Secondly, this is the first time we are recording with the patch 1.02 released, and I want to show you something really neat as it pertains to this patch. Remember, I talked about this back when we tackled the Midas video. However, now I get to actually show you. Oh, I can't wait. This is what I've been talking about. I mean, just look at this. You can see the actual mountains and trees in the distance. Something similar to this is also the case now in the Colosseum level, although on a much smaller case. So, in case you see something as gorgeous as this in the Midas level, you are running the 1.02 patch. This is something that's been sort of leaked accidentally via the Epic Game Store version, but since rolled back and now released properly. Secondly, as it pertains to the photo mode, there are a couple of new features that I want to show you. Maybe this is not the best spot, but nevertheless it's the spot we have, and that is, first of all, 2 new poses for Lara. So, there's this one, which I believe is a direct reference to a render back from the marketing in 1990s. And then this one, which is essentially Lara on the cover art of Tomb Raider 1, which I find really cool. Let's give her pistols. Now that's what I'm talking about. So 2 new poses like that. However, there's something also new that was not even mentioned in the patch notes as far as I'm aware, which is just crazy. And that's if you're playing on a console or PC with a controller, you can hold the right trigger, and this will essentially modify how the analog sticks behave in the photo mode. Now, if you're holding the right trigger and moving the left analog stick, you will get to move Lara like this. Forward, backwards, left or right, right? If you do the same thing, hold the right trigger and move the right analog stick, you'll be able to rotate her freely and move her up and down, even into solid objects. I guess I don't need to tell you how many awesome opportunities for photos this creates, right? Now, if you want to pull off the same thing on PC like I'm doing, it actually took me a while to figure this out, but I keep forgetting I am using a mouse to navigate around the photo mode. So if you hold the left mouse button, you're gonna get to move her around like this. If you hold the right mouse button, then rotation or moving on the vertical axis happens, right? And that's essentially it. There are a couple of more improvements. Water actually looks like water now. The keys in Tomb of Tihocan and Cistern are visible, all sorts of stuff. Please check the patch notes for the full official description, but these are sort of the unofficial things that were not highlighted in the patch that I wanted to make you aware of. And also, remember the bat in the Colosseum level that we could not kill? Well, that guy is now killable. I have tested it on PlayStation 4 and 5, and some of you have already reported to me in the video that he is killable. I'm curious myself how this will affect our Leave Them Sucking in the Wind achievement, because it's a kill that is now obtainable, but we did not obtain it because we ran the previous patch version of the game. It's possible we will not be able to get it via this playthrough, but I still think my Let's Play is gonna hold up, because you know where the bat is and it should now attack you and be killable. And secondly, we'll be running New Game Plus soon, meaning I will be 100%ing all the levels in the New Game Plus version. So, I'm not particularly worried, but I'm just interested to see how it goes. And also, later on in the penultimate level of the game, we will be able to collect 51 items, not 50, as was sort of a bug of the previous patch version, so that should enable us to get the Tomb Cleaner achievement. In theory, again, we'll see how the game will recognize it if half of it was running previous patch version and another half the new patch. So that's it for my disclaimer. Hopefully this was useful to you guys. I'm so excited about this patch and for what's to come. Although again, I feel this should have been the case from the get-go. And let's dive right into the Sanctuary of the Scion. Remember, these steps is where we ended last time after opening everything with the key items from the Obelisk of Khamun. So there we go, we've seen this screen. And onwards we go, with the old door closing behind us and a new path opening up. So let me officially welcome you to the Sanctuary of the Scion, the final level of Egypt. Yep, we only get through in this location, but they are quite big. So I hinted at this before when talking about it back in the city of Kamun, but the third level, hiding the third piece of the Scion, is not going to be a tomb, it's a sanctuary. There's no one buried here, which really gives me the impression that the third ruler of Atlantis might still be alive. Ooh, foreshadowing. We're going to find one and only secret of this level, awarding us the Codex of Egypt achievement. We are going to get our hands on all 29 goodies. We are going to kill 15 enemies, including a recurring boss, defeating whom will award us another achievement. We are not going to use any medpacks, nor break any breakaway tiles, because there are none in this level. So overall, we are going to unlock 5 achievements, but 4 of them you are going to get just by 100%ing this level. The 5th one you only need to keep in mind for a particular place where you can do a handstand, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. But it wouldn't be a final level without a proper welcoming committee. So let's get our magnums out, because we are not alone here. Oh boy, no. There they are, Lara's already aiming at them. So in case you guys were really wondering, what do mummies look like without those bandages on? Well, there you go, your patience has been awarded. So it's these muscular creatures with no skin, with huge teeth, and actually they seem to have eyes in there, and this is what they... okay, this is kind of adorable. This is what they look like in their original graphics, right? Just really dumb doofuses. I love it so much. So first of all, whenever I encounter a new enemy type, I have the job of taking a proper picture, right? Let's see, I want to capture both of them in this. Okay, there we go. And one thing that I'd like to explain, you might be thinking, oh my god, a new enemy type. Well, not entirely. If you get killed by these guys, you are not going to be awarded a new death. And also, even though they essentially have firing mechanisms on their arms, over here and over here, they're not going to use them. These guys are, for all intents and purposes, mummies, just without their bandages on. Killing them is not going to award you a new enemy type killed, and getting killed by them is not going to award a new death type, okay? Nevertheless, they look identical to the actually new enemy type later on in the level. It's a bit confusing, but I'll tell you what I mean shortly. First of all, let's dispatch them. Oh my god. Oh, that was a close one. Okay, we took some minor damage. Usually I prefer to keep a medium range distance from them, because then they tend to stop and sort of just look around and not directly chase you. For one of them it worked, for the other it didn't, but you know what, this is fine, it's a damage we can take, and I accept this result. I might regret it horribly, because this level, ooh, the door closing now, this level is really tricky in terms of not using a medpack due to the nature of its combat encounters. First of all, over here is a key item. We are going to find ourselves on the other side of this iron bars. We're going to use that scarab here to unlock the level exit over here with the final boss, okay? But before here and being on the other side of those bars, we are going to explore 2 of the largest rooms in the Tomb Raider series so far. Well, so far, we are in the first game, but it is rather impressive in terms of its scale. Now, this is unfortunately a level I do not like, which is strange because it has some of the most iconic locations, and it's an absolute stunning looker. But it's just not fun to navigate and play. I will explain. And also it makes sense when I learned about the history of the level and why and how it was created by Toby Gard. So, it might not be obvious yet, but we find ourselves on the back of an enormous sphinx over here. Yep, that's it. This is what it looked like in the original. A bit creepy, but I do appreciate the geometry. And they gave it more of a cutesy kind of face. Again, just like the one in the city of Kamun. We also have rays of light shining in, and it's actually turning into an evening sky, which makes sense given the FMV cutscene at the very end. So yeah, I do like this a lot. First of all, something inexplicable, this level's one and only secret. We cannot move the camera any further because this here is an invisible tile. We cannot move through it. And in here are 2 Uzis, or Ingrams, as some people have pointed out. The devs themselves have not really been naming these correctly, but I understand that Saber and Asper just want to refer to the nomenclature of the originals, regardless of whether it's correct or not. So this is the final weapon we are going to collect, and we're going to collect it here by jumping from the Sphinx's head. But I'm going to sort of hold off of doing that for a while, because I want to use our magnums to absolute efficiency, and conserve some of the Uzi ammo for the enemies in here. And this right here is the new enemy type. It looks identical to the mummies, however, this guy has new capabilities, new attacks. It can punch you to death or maul you, it can explode and explosion kill you, and it also have two types of projectiles it can kill you with. Bone fragments and fireballs, just like the centaurs in Greece. It's insane how much weaponry they gave these guys, and even though they look identical, if this guy kills you, you are gonna be awarded an extra death, right? Furthermore, to continue, we need to open the door at the Sphinx's chest, and in order to do that, we need to insert two ankhs. One over here and one on the back of the Sphinx's head over here. To do that, we need to complete two challenge rooms. One over on this side behind the door and another one on this side behind the door. And to unlock this door, we'll need to press a lever on the mountain range over on that side. There you can maybe see it. And in order to open that door, we'll need to open lever on that side of the mountain range. Is this confusing enough? At least I think so. So navigating is not really a straightforward affair. And my god, the rock climbing, is it annoying and counterintuitive. So, let's maybe stay close to this pillar. This is a good vantage point from which it should not be able to shoot us. And there we go. The mutant, as I like to call them, has been defeated. Now there's going to be yet another variety of mutants later in this level. And actually I say later, but it's right around the corner. Oh, I love this music so much. I'm not gonna talk through it, I'm gonna let you enjoy it. Uh-oh, sorry for talking through the remainder of the music, but we need to hurry up, because you might have seen it, there is in fact a flying demon, and you can maybe hear the flap of its wings. Whoa, you closed that distance real quickly, sir. So this, my friends, is another variety of the mutant. It is identical, except for the fact it has wings and can fly across the map. I am so incredibly impressed they managed to pull this off back in 1996. Flying, navigation and AI in 3D space. I mean, in many of the sort of documentaries about what an impressive milestone Tomb Raider 1 is, no one really talks about the flying enemies, and I find that to be one of the most impressive aspects of it. There, we even get the Sphinx in the shot, which makes me happy. So let's take it down. Lara, can you shoot it? Okay, it seems to be stuck, but who the hell knows for how long? Oh no. Oh no, no. Oh my god, you're annoying. Our health situation does not look good. I mean, at least we weren't pushed off the ledge, because that would be certain doom, but oof. Yeah, so be very careful. The moment you... I'm not sure if it's the lever over there or picking up the large health bag over there, but that guy spawns. However, occasionally what can happen is that he will never fly to you. Instead, there is a particular corner where he has a tendency to get stuck. Or she. Yeah, I shouldn't assume, but... and it's this one. They tend to get stuck in here for some reason. And in that case, there is a different way to dispatch this guy. But in this case, I guess we were lucky that it worked and he did not get stuck and we got awarded a kill. But I am not happy about the damage we took. So it's gonna be interesting how many times I'll have to repeat certain passages to get across this level without using the medpacks. It really is one of the hardest ones in this regard. Now, let's take a closer look at the door in the Sphinx chest. This is gonna give us a cool camera angle, and also, keep in mind, a bit difficult to see, but there are magnum clips right over here. If you climb the Sphinx's left paw over here, you can climb back on top of it, but we're not going to do that yet, because we have levers to activate, right? So first of all, this is essentially the most awkward climbing passage in the entire game, in my opinion. It is very counterintuitive. I do not particularly like it, although what's kind of neat is you have multiple ways you can tackle the climbing challenge, right? There is no one linear path. And honestly, this kind of design really reminds me of Tomb Raider 3, where it's very organic, confusing, and you kind of have multiple paths through a level. Okay, but I'm gonna of course show you how to get everything in what I consider to be the most efficient way. Okay, there we go, and on our right should be more ammo. Truly wonderful. There is also a way you can use those rocks to get here, which involves a lot of shimmying. I am not a big fan of just, you know, pointless shimmying, although I did do that in the Obelisk of Khamun level, and some of you guys have correctly pointed out there is a jump to skip that. That's something I'm going to try and keep in mind when we'll be doing the time trial and New Game Plus. Okay, we opened the first challenge room, but let's immediately get on this tile, because this is a good vantage point to take down another flying beast from here. I'm gonna refer to these guys as demons. Uh-oh. Oof. Okay, fine. As long as no body part touched us and incurred damage, I am happy. There is still, however, plenty that can go wrong, and I'm not gonna save until almost at the very end of the level. That's the tricky thing here. Okay, and let's collect some shotgun shells, also on the platform over there. Now at this point, both of the challenge rooms are unlocked because we press 2 switches, which is simply awesome, and we can tackle one of them straight ahead. Keep in mind the Uzis, we are gonna get there, don't you worry, but after we put both Ankh pieces into the Sphinx's head. And I'm trying to think of a best way to descend without taking damage. You know what? We should be able to shimmy to the left, right? Ah, wonderful. And this should sort of minimize the falling damage to the point we will take no damage. Awesome. Let's be very careful. So many awkward pitfalls in here. I do not enjoy navigating this level at all. Oh yeah, but I was talking about the history of how it was created. Well, it's very simple. Toby Gard at one point said, well, we need a larger Sphinx than what is in the city of Khamun, or end of Obelisk of Khamun. So he done and did it. He created this huge, enormous Sphinx. But the problem with this level is that the Sphinx was the priority, and then the level was sort of built around it. But that doesn't necessarily make a good level. It's so incredibly awkward to navigate. I mean, if you do enjoy being pushed off ledges and falling into your death, I guess you're gonna love this level. But it just tells me that rather than creating cool level ideas, cool geometry was created first and then the level around it, and that's why it just, I don't know, in my head it doesn't work, even though it's gorgeous to look at. We're gonna have another area, which is a great example of this sort of design philosophy where let's create something visually cool and then a level around it. Okay, that was pretty neat. I do prefer shotgun on these guys. Okay, we did not take any damage from a centaur. Now, we haven't seen these guys since the Tomb of Tihocan, but they are essentially the same breed, like the mummies or the mutants in the skies with flapping wings, right? So this was the first challenge room, very straightforward, and we have collected our first Ankh. Remember, we need 2 of them. The second challenge room, however, is not going to be quite as straightforward, but fairly similar. By the way, this is one of those levels that I feel Tomb Raider Anniversary did an incredible amount of justice. It is such a better level in that game than it is in Tomb Raider 1. Okay, Lara, can you take aim? Before he will, ideally. Whew. Okay, he did not fire off at us even once. If you do not expect this guy to appear on the back of the Sphinx, he can really shred your health to pieces. Now, before we climb up the head, let's go down, because remember, this here is another door with a challenge room that we have already opened. Again, I find this to be the most efficient order to tackle this level. And now we can go around, but that serves as a way back up to climb up in case we mess this one up. But we are not gonna mess it up, because we know what's up ahead. So this here is a pool area that is completely empty. If you don't know in advance that there's this slippery slope where you need to shimmy, you're gonna fall into it, have to scale it back up and repeat, right? So that's essentially it. And there's gonna be a similar challenge in the room afterwards. But you can absolutely try it, fail it, and pick up the key, or you can just use these steps to go for the key inside the pool directly. It's almost like the key was in the lock above us the entire time, because that's where it is, and it just fell over the course of centuries or millennia. Now, I think this is called gold key? Yeah, even though it's a sapphire key model, it's called gold key, but that was the case in the original too, for whatever reason. Now that we have it, we can attempt the challenge, and I mean, there are multiple ways you can do it. You can try and test your timing. You need to jump off at the far end of this ledge at the best possible time to reach the ledge behind it. Or you can essentially just do this, climb up, immediately hold the jump key and press roll, and action, and Lara will always grab this ledge. So this is sort of a more reliable way to do it, but in case it's a bit confusing, you're not used to it, then you might prefer just timing the forward grabbing jump, which can result in a couple of falls into the water, but it's no biggie, really. Again, I'm gonna get the shotgun ready. Oh. Someone's angry. Okay, we are at 5 shotgun shells. That's not much ammo to throw around. I'm gonna keep it ready for the final boss of this level, but honestly, 3 shotgun shells should be more than enough for that particular adversary. Yeah, I'm being very discreet here. So, we have both anks. Let's fall into the water. Even though we took a lot of damage from the first flying demon, we did not take any damage from the centaurs, so this gives me a lot of hope. You know, you get some, you lose some. And now that we have both of the anks, and we've cleared both of these challenges, I'm always nervous about taking falling damage here. I think we should make it... Yeah, diagonal jump. See, you don't even need to make it to the water, which is simply amazing. So now that we have both ank keys, I'm going to show you the fastest way to climb the Sphinx, which is also going to be useful in case you want to get the Uzis first before tackling the rest of the level, because you could really use the extra firepower, right? Now you can absolutely, you have these sort of suggestive steps that you can climb this paw of the Sphinx, but it serves no purpose. You cannot use it to climb up or anything like that. Yeah, it's honestly a bit disappointing. In Tomb Raider 4 Sphinx, there was at least a box of shotgun shells, if I remember correctly. Okay. And now, this is essentially the fastest way to climb up, so that you don't need to engage with the rocky mountain range, which is just... it's so awkward. I do not like it. Okay, almost at the very top. Now we are at the back of the Sphinx, and there was this one protruding piece of fallen rubble, which is essential in terms of allowing us to get to the top of it via a jump like this. Okay. Now, tied with the Sphinx's head is also an achievement, Pet This Cat, and that is to do a handstand on its head. I'm gonna show you what I think is the coolest place to do it in just a sec. And just like with the Obelisk of Khamun, they don't know which is the final artifact you're gonna put into this receptacle, so they're gonna show you a camera angle regardless of which one it is. But this is gonna be the final one, so to speak. And the door will now open. Awesome. Now, let's grab this and do a handstand. Yay! So, unfortunately, this will not award you an achievement, but I think it's a far cooler place to do it in, right? Maybe the devs themselves did not think about it, but if you just do it from this side, there you have it, okay? So do a handstand on the Sphinx's face, which I disagree with. This is the Sphinx's temple, this would be the Sphinx's face, but that's just how they implemented it, you know? So don't freak out in case you're not gonna get it when handstanding through its actual face. You can do it on the side like that and the achievement will unlock. It's a bit weird like that. And now, for the final secret and Uzis, we're gonna get 2 achievements in one. And there we go. The Codex of Egypt and do Uzi this one. Now, make a running grabbing jump here. Notice how, even though I didn't see the ledge, I set myself up just to be able to make this jump. The tank controls are great in that regard. You don't even need to see what's happening. You can just rely on Lara to do the rest for you. Oh, I can't imagine setting myself up for a jump in the moment controls. And now, we are always going to use Uzis. It's time to say bye-bye to Magnums. Okay, and just one more, and I would appreciate this guy's body parts not dealing damage to us. Oh my god, one of them did. God damn it, these guys are annoying. Anyway, we did it. So here, those things are the beautiful Uzis. And what I really like about them in Tomb Raider 1 Remastered is that they sort of ramped up the sound of them. They sound like they have more punch. It's not how they sounded back in the original. I'm trying to find a way to descend safely. Yeah, that should be it. Fine, awesome. So that's essentially it. We wrapped up our business in this room, and we are gonna now enter another absolutely ginormous room. However, we're gonna be there very briefly. But again, I appreciate what they did with it in the remasters. I can never quite make it. So there we are, two enormous statues of Horus and Anubis, or it could be Seth, hard to say. So I'm gonna just show you so you don't get overwhelmed. The points of interest. So first of all, the Uzi ammo over here. And then over here, there should be a shotgun ammo. Now, within this statue of Horus is where the level exit is, but we need to open it up first. So first we need to enter the Anubis statue. I think it's Anubis and not a Seth. I mistake these two. And actually, interesting thing, one of you guys have pointed out that I've been calling the sort of beasts we've been fighting in the previous two levels as panthers, but they are in fact coyotes, or should be coyotes, like Seth himself. That's an interesting observation. I think you could be onto something, because it doesn't make sense for panthers to be in Egypt, right? They are native to South America. But, I mean, let's not get caught up on realism in Tomb Raider games. That's not really what's important. Okay, and there we go. And now, there is one particularly annoying demon I'm not sure how best to take care of. You're gonna see its wings flapping as you approach this. Now he's gonna fly off. Maybe immediately go after him. Okay, Lara, jump back. Oh, nice! We use the slippery slope to our advantage to have just that extra second to take care of this guy. Now you can fall down here, but you will take some minor damage. There is a better option. There we go. A hidden rock, just like this. It's a bit annoying and not transparent, but there you have it. Now let's jump onto the Seth statue. And remember, this area was flooded. But by pressing the underwater lever, which allowed us to swim up, this kind of drained the water at the same time. Oh, and by the way, this is this game's most hidden pickup. Right here is a large medpack. You can sometimes see it through the old graphics, but there it is. You can enter the ear. It doesn't seem to be possible to pick this up when this area is underwater and flooded. When you drain the water is when it's really possible. And honestly, to this day, I don't know if this was a mistake or an intentional design. I hope a mistake, because if this was an intentional design to put the large medpack there, then that, frankly, that makes me a bit angry. God damn it, devs. Okay, this is a very tricky jump, and because you can really overjump easily and then break Lara's neck if you're not lucky enough to fall into the water. By the way, this I find to be an absolute spot for a secret pickup or something like that, but no, there's absolutely nothing there. So now, let's press a lever that will finally open the statue of Horus, and we'll swim up towards the level exit, and perhaps more importantly for me, because I'm getting really nervous, the one and only place where we'll save in this level, except for the level exit. So now we can absolutely make it here. This really reminds me of the entrance of Pharaoh's Temple of Isis in Tomb Raider Last Revelation. Those of you who have played will know what I'm talking about. There is again a huge structure with two entrances like this underwater, a hammerhead shark and two key items. It's just, the similarities are striking, in my opinion. Okay, so this is a long way up the ramp. Remember, we are now approaching the scarab at the very beginning of the level. So we need to go high, high and high. But on the way there, we'll pick up two pairs of magnum clips. Not that we'll use them anymore, mind you. Well, for one particular fight later on in the game, but yeah, it's Uzis from this point on, because we've been collecting all the Uzi ammo up to this point, as rare as it was. Okay, and now I'm going to save the game here. Let's see, Sanctuary of the Scion, because the moment you pick this item up, the hardest fight of the level will begin. A centaur and two mutants. Okay, one mutant is down. There is a centaur and another mutant. Now I want to lure the mutant in here. Eventually it should find its way. Uh-oh. Oh, thank God he decided to turn around. We got hit by one body part. By the way, in case they end up following you, if you reach this spot, they should not go any further. This is something I tested in the original as well as remastered. Back when I was doing no medpacks, no saves, no loads, pistols only run. So that helps. But now that we have Uzis, we don't need to go quite that far. Now I'm gonna preserve some of the shotgun ammo. And instead I'm gonna take this guy down with Uzis. Okay, is it not dead yet? Oh, god damn it. Makes seem Uzi's quite weak, no? Alright, but it would have taken even more time with the Magnums. So there we go, this was the toughest encounter of the level. Dare I say we did quite nicely. Let's put the Scarab in here. And it's not over, because as I said, there's one recurring boss. And I'm not talking about the Centaurs, by the way, even though they were treated as a boss in the Tip of Tihocan, purely by the virtue of being given a health bar. Okay, just a quick check, 14 kills, 28 pickups, very good, that's essentially what we want. Now, you know I like to do these sneak peeks via windows, so here we're gonna enter the final Egyptian area of the game. Yeah, for some reason there seems to be a ceiling of hieroglyphics. I would have expected this to be the sky. But maybe it's a roof above an opening with the sky and we just cannot see it from the correct angle. I don't know, it's a bit odd. I think it's an oversight and not intentional. We have the sarcophaguses, or sarcophagi from the previous levels, and the final piece of Scion. So you might be wondering, well, what on earth is standing in our way? Well... This guy, there he is, Larsen. And may I just point out, I think he actually holds a hand cannon, or is it Lara's pistol, 9mm that he has? Interesting. In the original he had some scoped pistol or something like that with a laser sight, and here it's just your standard ordeal. Well, there he is thinking he is so smart, but what he underestimates is the fact that Lara has a shotgun. He's gonna pay dearly for that.
I still got a pain in my brain from you. It's got any funny ideas, man. I'll actually shoot you to hell.
Oh my god. We got stuck in the pillar and he almost killed us. Our health cannot actually be seen. Whoa, he almost did shoot us to hell. Well, this was rather embarrassing. I did not expect him to block our path to make it over, and we got stuck on the pillar. And he just went full rapid-fire cowboy mode. Well, thankfully... we just barely made it with no health visible. And we got an achievement to boot. So guys, the moment we're gonna pick up this piece of the Scion is when we're gonna finish the Egyptian chapter of the game. So I am going to make a save here. My god, that was a close one. And let's see the final statistics. There we go. Oh, we even got the achievement for finishing Egypt. So, Sanctuary of the Scion, not a very long level, but it is quite huge in terms of the geometry. We have found its one and only secret, got all 29 pickups, killed all 15 enemies. We have just barely, with invisible health bar, not used any medpacks, and we did not break any breakaway tiles because there are none. And we have unlocked all 5 achievements, which is simply awesome. Now, in case you guys are interested in also seeing the deaths unique to this level that have to do with the sort of normal mutants and the flying demons, feel free to stick around. In case you're not, I'm gonna see you next time in the next geographical location in Natla's Mines, where I'm also gonna show you the amazing, absolutely action-packed FMV cutscene. Oh, I cannot wait. Okay, so here we are back at the beginning of the Sanctuary of the Scion. Remember, as I explained before, if you get killed by the first 2 opponents over here, this will not net you a new death, because for some reason, these guys are considered mummies and not mutants. Even though they don't look like mummies, but mutants, there you have it. So, you do kind of have to get away with them if you use the same kind of saving system that I do. Being anxious not to cross the number 50 at the very end. We'll see how I'll do. And thankfully, you can very quickly make it to the first Mutie the Mutant just by sliding down on the Sphinx. I think it's gonna be better from this side, just like we did in our Let's Play proper. You can already hear it growling. And let's see, maybe it can come up with a more creative way of killing us. The bone fragments I've been talking about, yeah. So they can either decide to shoot these things or the fireballs. Now, if it's these things, it's gonna take a while, unfortunately. With fireballs, the effect is achieved much sooner. And by the way, again, just an important disclaimer, it doesn't matter if you're gonna get killed via them mauling you, killing you with fireballs, bone fragments, or their death explosion. You're only gonna get one death for this, okay? So there we go. We are now at 29 deaths, and I'm gonna show you guys how to get the 30th one. Okay, and we find ourselves back on the Sphinx's back. First things first, I really recommend you do get rid of the mutant down here, because we are gonna summon 2 demons via picking up the Uzis, and this guy is able to shoot you from down here over on the platform with the Uzis, and we don't want him to be the one striking the killing blow, we want it to be one of the demons, right? So that's first important step. Secondly, the demons themselves, they can shoot bone fragments, they can shoot fireballs. If either of these kills you, I found that it doesn't increase our death count. I do not know why. The only way I managed to land that 30th death was to let a demon maul us up close with a melee attack. So this is similar like the rats in Palace Midas. When they're swimming in water and nibble Lara to death, it does not count as a death for whatever reason. The devs have just forgot to implement it. However, if you let them kill you on the solid ground, it does work. So similar thing to demons, it's just way trickier. So I'm gonna interrupt the music now, because things are getting serious. There we go. Now again, walk key is your best friend on this invisible platform. You know exactly how to settle her up for a jump. Doesn't matter if we're gonna take some damage, we are after our death after all. Now there will be 2 mutants flying down. Since we have Uzis, I would recommend taking one of these guys out, just so you have one to focus on entirely, who's not gonna mess it up for you, okay? Oh, this is gonna take a while at this rate. Okay, and just one more. Now, you need to be extremely patient to let him come here. As much as I said their AI is impressive in terms of navigating the 3D environments, it is also really ancient. So it takes a while for them to get down, well, anywhere really. They usually land on one of the ledges on the rock climbing phase, but yeah, it's not much help. Now again, make sure once they land, you do not let these guys shoot you to death with either of their projectiles, but you're gonna go for melee. That's the only way so you're gonna get that 30th death, okay? I'm actually extremely lucky I even found out, because I could have tried the melee death as the very first one, and then I would have never found out the shooting doesn't work. But here we are. I found this out, and I'm gonna share this knowledge with you guys. Who knows if that's gonna be patched one day. Well, you know what? This is gonna be a long one, isn't it? That flying chicken is incredibly stupid. I'm gonna see you guys back in this spot when it finally makes it down here. Oh, finally, thank God. Now let's just let it have its way with us. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a long day, isn't it? Sometimes it can even stop and just start striking you. Maybe if we back ourselves... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, never mind then. Okay, it should be over soon. There we go. And now, my friends, when you next check your progression, be it PlayStation 5 or Steam, unfortunately not possible on GOG, not sure about Epic, I'm not using that, you should see 30 out of 36 deaths, okay? So again, very important, it actually matters for the flying demons that they kill you up close. It will not work any other way. To be fair, perhaps their body parts explosion would also work. I have not tested that, since I only did the testing after getting killed like this, so there's no way to know for sure, but being shot down by fireballs or bone fragments does not work. So hopefully that will clear up some confusion in case you got killed by one of these guys but did not get awarded a death. And thank you so much for sticking around, for watching the video. Whilst I'm gonna see you next time in the next geographical location after what I consider is the best Tomb Raider FMV ever, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my patrons. I would like to thank Blank Goopel, Mick, Severin Drax and Marek Malec for being my Winstons, for bringing Lara that delicious tea which refreshes her enough to make it across the trek across Egyptian desert. And also a very special thank you to my veteran Winston fighting to protect Lara from Bartoli Stacks, Andrea Paviglianiti. You guys are absolutely awesome. I can't thank you enough, and I'm humbled by the support. You are allowing me to afford to use more time to make these videos. It's in a sense a dream coming true. And to the rest of you who are watching, I appreciate you so much. You help fight the YouTube algorithm, which is heavily disfavoring demonetized videos that are ad-free like my own. And together we make it possible, and more people will see these guides. So thank you so much for sticking across to the end, and I'm gonna see you next time in the next and final geographical location with our first level called Natla's Mines, and perhaps more importantly in what I think is the best Tomb Raider FMV cutscene. Oh, I can't wait.